Ever wonder what happens when a Hollywood star goes toe-to-toe with a reporter armed with a woke agenda? Spoiler alert, it's not pretty for the reporter. Today, we're diving into the jaw-dropping moments where famous actors destroyed woke Hollywood reporters. Buckle up, this is gonna be good.
Bills passed in 30 years to help make schools safer. Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Billions of dollars to safe in schools. What I find out months after the bill's been passed is that very few applications are going in from the school districts. And for those that are applying, very few are getting granted and awarded. So the money's still there. And we're like, wait, where's the gap?
When Matthew McConaughey appeared on The View, the hosts weren't just interested in his children's book, which he was actually there to do. They wanted to corner him to get that one viral moment. But McConaughey, he wasn't playing along. The questions started innocent enough. Family, fatherhood, his passion for storytelling. But soon the conversation veered into politics, with the host fishing for a headline about gun control and his potential future in office.
You get elected in Texas being anti-gun?
Do I think I could get elected in Texas being anti-gun? One thing about if me in politics is to give you a direct statement right there is me playing a game that I'm not interested in playing.
Okay,
to give you a direct statement right there.
Did he take the bait? Not a chance. Instead, McConaughey's calm, measured responses left the host scrambling. They wanted controversy, but all they got was clarity, a masterclass in steering the narrative. Bihar blinked, checkmate. It wasn't McConaughey's first rodeo on The View, and Kurt Russell also knows that playbook all too well.
Recently, you made some headlines for saying that you felt gun control laws wouldn't deter terrorists.
During his own interview, the host tried to loop him into the gun control debate. Kurt wasn't having it. Kurt Russell has been around long enough to spot an agenda from a mile away. The host decided to revisit one of his past comments on gun control. They were looking for a soundbite.
Well, you know, these are these things where, first of all, I was in a situation, we do what we call the dog and pony.
Right.
We're out doing the dog and pony selling a picture. And you get sometimes you get what you feel is slightly ambushed by somebody who's really got an agenda. And that's sort of, I think, that's my opinion of what happened to me the other day. The last thing I like to watch is entertainers or actors get political. It's just something I can't stand watching.
Keep in mind that Kurt Russell's appearance on The View came hot on the heels of his headline-making takedown of another woke interviewer. Sensing an opportunity for controversy, the hosts cautiously broached the topic of gun control again. They clearly knew Russell's reputation for handling such questions with ease and perhaps a bit of fire, so they approached it more carefully this time. But Russell wasn't about to let them off the hook that easily.
In reality, Fantasyland is what we do. You're either writing something, writing a song, writing a book, doing a movie, doing a television show. That's Fantasyland. And that's where that stuff belongs. In reality, when we're dealing with things like terrorism and whatnot, we're all going to have different opinions on how to do it, how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Mine happens to be that I think there's a very strong reason Founding Fathers had for the Second Amendment, and that is that no government ever hasn't had to fight its own people, and its own people hasn't had to fight.
The subtle dismissal was enough to leave the host fumbling, unsure of how to pivot. And that's the beauty of Kurt Russell. He doesn't raise his voice, but his point comes across loud and clear. If you've enjoyed the video up to now, hit that like button and subscribe. A town hall for fences, a reporter trying to stir the pot. Why did you choose a black director? Couldn't a white director handle it?
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have
It's not
produced this
color,
work?
it's culture.
It was one of those moments that left everyone talking. The time Denzel Washington dismantled a loaded question with grace and precision. During a 2016 town hall for fences, a reporter decided to stir the pot. The question alone was absurd enough, but when she asked to explain the difference, I lost it. As the question lingered, it became clear there was more to it, a push for a woke narrative about inclusivity. Denzel didn't take the bait. Instead, he turned the conversation into a masterclass on culture. He didn't raise his voice, didn't get defensive.
Steven Spielberg did Schindler's List. Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List, but they're cultural differences. You know, I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference, not just a color difference. So it's the culture.
He just laid out the facts, drawing a clear line between color and culture. It wasn't about exclusion, it was about understanding the heart of the story being told. The room hung on his every word. The reporter, let's just say she got far more than she bargained for.
During an interesting time with the transition in the White House, just wondering who you wound up supporting in the election and why.
Go ahead.
It wasn't the first time Denzel Washington found himself teaching a reporter a thing or two about the real world. At the Fences premiere, what should have been a celebration of his work turned into yet another awkward attempt to push a woke narrative.
That was the question. Who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election?
None of your business.
None of my business?
None of your business.
Well, I'm only asking because the story was online.
The question seems loaded from the start. Denzel didn't dodge. He didn't deflect. Instead, he turned the moment into something bigger. With calm and clarity, he pointed out what so many seem to forget. Change doesn't come from presidents or policies.
Right now, under President Obama, over the last 8 years, in your mind, have race relations improved under his leadership?
Race relationships have to do with race relationships. You're white or whatever you are, I'm black or whatever I am. We're standing here talking now. That's how we get things done. You can't legislate love.
The reporter seemed stunned. What do you say to that? Denzel didn't just answer the question, he dismantled the premise entirely. Some conversations are uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean they can't be meaningful, unless, of course, someone's just fishing for controversy. That's exactly what happened during an interview with Samuel L. Jackson while promoting Django Unchained. The topic? The film's use of the N-word.
There's been a lot of controversy surrounding the usage of the N-word in this movie, and
no, nobody, none. The word would be.
Oh, I don't want to say it.
Why not?
I don't like to say it.
Have you ever said it?
No, sir.
Try it.
I don't like to say it.
Try it.
The interviewer, Jake Hamilton, tried to tiptoe around the word, clearly wanting to make a point without actually saying it. But Samuel L. Jackson wasn't going to let him off that easy. Hamilton froze. You could see the gears turning, the hesitation growing. If you can't even say the word, Jackson seemed to imply, then how can you have a meaningful conversation about it? It was a powerful moment, a clear example of how people often dance around difficult topics without engaging with them honestly. The tension built until Hamilton gave up entirely, trying to move on to another question. But by then, the damage was done. Jackson had exposed the hollowness of the question without even raising his voice. And finally, the piece de resistance. Morgan Freeman on 60 Minutes facing a reporter who wanted to discuss woke topics like Black History Month.
History Month you find
ridiculous.
Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, well, come on, tell me.
The hesitation, the stammering. Just wow. What do these moments have in common? Courage, clarity, and a refusal to play along with shallow narratives. These actors reminded us that some conversations deserve depth, and some questions don't deserve answers at all. If you're tired of the same old rhetoric too, hit that subscribe button for more moments that leave woke culture in the dust, and let us know what you think in the comments. See you in the next one.